And joining me now to return to our conversation about fatherhood is our own Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, Executive Vice President here at the Family Research Council. General, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you, Tony. I'm glad to be with you.
Shifting gears here, not talking about Ukraine today, but talking more about men, because that's one of the big ministries of the Family Research Council, is our Stand Courageous Men's Ministry. And we've been talking about this for a number of years. You've been talking about it since you retired from the United States Army. Many of the issues we face today in our culture and in our country could be eliminated if men having the proper relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ would step up in their homes and provide the leadership.
I don't think there's any question about that, Tony, and we certainly have found that through our studies here. And remember, several years ago when Dr. Pat Fagan was here, he did some really detailed research on what was necessary for a community to have a high school graduation rate, low crime rates, good economy, and good personal health. And the single most important thing was an intact family.
Yeah.
With a father in the home. Now, I think what Florida is doing in time is going to pay them tremendous dividends, and I think that I wish that we could get other states to do the same thing.
Isn't it telling, though, about the left? They've been critical of Tony Dungy standing up there beside Governor DeSantis, critical of this focus on fathers, saying, well, fathers, well, what about the mothers? Nobody's saying mothers are not important. But look, let's just be, we speak the truth.
Right.
Men are essential. God made men to be leaders in their home, to be the fathers of their children. They need mothers too. But they can't fully, especially young boys, can't understand and develop their masculinity without a man in the home.
Yeah, that's right. And look, the left is having trouble understanding that God created man and woman with different roles in our society.
And different body parts.
And different body parts, yeah. And different roles in the home. And they just cannot come to grips with that. Look, I know a lot of women that have raised children by themselves, and a lot of those children have just done very, very well. But that's not the norm. You just heard the statistics from Speaker Sprouls. Drug abuse, incarceration, and all of those things, suicide.
Right.
You need that man in the home to provide guidance.
And one of the things we need to be very clear about, you don't make public policy based upon the exception, you base it upon the norm. So there are many people who will do well. And we both know people like that, and I applaud them. But it takes a lot of work, and any one of those single mothers would tell you it is difficult. And in many cases, there is a male figure somewhere that's involved in the life of that child. But this is there's a bigger battle here, and it's something we talk about in our Stand Courageous conference. There is a disdain for masculinity.
Yes.
And it is under attack in our country.
It is absolutely under attack, and it's all part of this whole movement that you see in America to degrade and denigrate us as a nation, to make the next generation not proud to be Americans, to really to bring us down as a nation. But what you're seeing is that they're going after the families, and specifically they're going after the men. And what are they doing? They are getting men hooked on all kinds of nonsense, right. And it's not just drugs or alcohol. It's pornography, it's gambling, it's a variety of things.
Distracting them from their role as
Absolutely.
The leader of the home. Now, I'll ask you this question using a military analogy. If you're in a battle, and we're seeing this actually in Ukraine play out.
Yeah.
Who are the Ukrainian targeting when it comes to the Russian troops? Who are they targeting?
Oh, they're targeting both. They're targeting the officers, the leadership, because if they can bring the leadership down, that throws everybody else into total chaos.
Command and control.
Right.
You want to take out the command and control. You want to take out the leaders and their ability to communicate.
Right.
And if you take the father out of the home, you've created chaos. And we're seeing that social chaos. Or if you distract them, as you're just talking about, with all these other things, pornography, gambling, television,
Yeah, sure.
you are breaking down the communication within the home.
There's no question about it. And as we go around and do these men's conferences here and have the opportunities to talk to the pastors that are counseling people every day, but also to get up close and personal with these men that come to these conferences, I think what we're finding is that these men are so distracted by so many different things, and quite frankly, they're reaching a point that I think that they realize that it is dangerous, that it's hurting their family, it's hurting the people around them, and they are delighted, I think, when we have one of these conferences, to be able to unload some of that.
And we have a conference coming up in North Carolina.
Yeah, we do. We have a conference on the 6th and 7th of May in High Point, North Carolina, and it is at the Green Street Baptist Church. And we start Friday night at 6 o'clock, and we'll go Saturday until about 4 o'clock. So it'll be Friday night, and then we'll come back Saturday, reconvene on Saturday about 8 o'clock, I think, and we'll have a good conference there. I am looking forward to it. I'm excited because we've had some good interface with the pastors down in that community there, and I'm expecting them to show up eager for the word.
StandCourageous.com is the website. You can register there, find out more about the Stand Courageous ministry here at the Family Research Council. And there's more resources there at the website than just information about the conference.
Yeah, there is. Please go to Stand Courageous, to our website. And you can find it on FRC. If you can't remember anything else, go on the FRC website, and you can find the Stand Courageous embedded in that. But there are things there like coaching videos. Tony and I sit down on the side of a mountain up in the mountains of Virginia, and we talk about things that matter to the men. I mean, we talk directly to the men. And Stu Weber and I talk and about a lot of things that are important to men. And then we've got coaching videos, we've got devotionals, we've got all kinds of things there that will be of use to you as a man. And ladies, why don't you encourage your husband to go into this website and look at the resources there and see if he finds something that he's interested in that will help him to be a better husband and father.
You know, some people have asked, well, you're a public policy organization in Washington, D.C. What are you doing men's conferences focused on the spiritual nature of manhood? Well, the bottom line is, General, you and I have talked about this, if we could get the men in proper relationship with the Lord, leading their homes, which is counterculture today, we could solve about 80% of the policy issues we deal with here in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's exactly right. And what the feminist movement is trying to do is tell us there's no difference between a man and a woman. And that's why we're having such a struggle in this country now with men wanting to compete against women and claim that they're actually women. And this is so off track. It is so derailed in terms of what it's done to our society. It is hurting our society in a way that people don't even realize because they have become so woke that they're far more focused on being woke than they are about the health of our society.
Well, and we don't have time for this conversation today because we're almost out of time. But long-term implications for a nation being able to defend itself when we've emasculated warriors.
Yeah.
We're not raising men to be brave, to be warriors, to be courageous. We're raising them to be effeminate, to be woke.
And when we have this conference here, one of the first things you and I are going to tell these men the first night is we're going to say, first of all, we're no different than you are. Secondly, when you came out of the womb, you were born to be a warrior. Now figure out how you're going to do that. We've got stuff that'll help you.
Yeah, and it is a politically incorrect free zone.
Right.
We don't tolerate any of that stuff. General, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Here, Tom.